The fear of death is greater than death itself, but the fear of the unknown is by far the greatest fear of all. Undertaker, 2014. Some of you might know The Undertaker as that zombie biker guy from WWE who wrestles for belts. But when you look at that particular quote from him, it says a lot. Fear, like sadness previously, is one of the main emotions that humans have. Without fear, we aren't even humans. We're just basically living beings without a soul or mind. Some might say that fear is bad, and others say it's actually good. Fear is to a point where there's so much, people actually give names to some, like arachnophobia, fear of spiders, aerophobia, fear of flying, and even autophobia, the fear of being alone. But how is fear actually good? Well, why do we have fear? In a sense, why are we afraid of something to begin with? Most of the time, it's because we know something is either dangerous or can be bad for us. When we go on a car ride, and if the car is going so fast, we fear that it might get into an accident. Because we know when a car is going fast, and if it hits something, it can lead to, well, things that we don't want, to say the least. When we take an exam, why are we afraid of it? It's not because we are afraid of the exam itself. It's because we are afraid of failing that exam and what comes from it. Most of the time, what we fear is actually the unknown. We know what we can get if we are successful in something, like we safely arrive at our destination in a car, or we ace that exam. But if the opposite occurs, that's when we don't know what's actually gonna happen and what will happen. Fear of the unknown. And this is what makes us afraid. This is what makes us want to avoid those things. And to me, this is the best part of fear, because it helps us to be more careful, more decisive, and wiser when it comes to what we do with our life. Do we do A, hoping for B? Or do we do A, trying to avoid C? Fear is not something that we should feel ashamed about, because at the end of the day, it's just another part of us. When is fear bad? Well, it's mostly when we let fear control us. In one of SpongeBob's episodes, I Had an Accident, SpongeBob actually got into an accident, as per the title, and it broke his butt. Because of this, he was just too afraid to even go outside, and he stayed indoors. He let fear consume himself to a point where his friends were concerned, and he had to make up imaginary friends at home. He had a job, but he did not go out. He had friends outside. He still did not go out. He had a life outside, but he chose to stay inside. This is when fear is bad. It controls us. It lets us do the things that we don't want to do, or even worse, it confines us to not let us do the things that we want. In summary, don't let fear control us. It's actually a good thing. It helps us to be prepared. It keeps us alert. At the end of the day, even though the opposite of fear is to be brave, brave itself does not mean that we don't have any fears. To be brave is the ability to face our fears. My name is Audi. fears are good and bad. Just remember, it's okay to be afraid, as long as you don't let that stop you from living. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye! Hi everyone! So since it's the spooky month of October, Halloween, ghosts, those kind of stuff, I figured, maybe I should talk about something related to it a bit. But instead of talking about ghosts and, scary stories, why not talk about the cause of it all, fear itself. So, yeah, I hope if you guys are actually celebrating Halloween, have a good time, have a good night. If, some of you guys don't actually celebrate it, well, appreciate the month. Because, honestly, I've never celebrated Halloween per se, but I always enjoy dressing up. And since it is Halloween, well, it gives us, or rather me, an excuse to actually do so. Hope you guys have a good day. See ya!